Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's presentation on the distinction of cyberterrorism in relation to other cybersecurity threats. I am Kalpakotte Kankanange, and I will be your presenter for the session. And this presentation forms an integral component of the cyber cell terrorism module within the Master of Cybersecurity Operation Program at UNSW. Today, I would like to introduce a compiling hypothesis that challenge our perceptions of cyberterrorism and its place in our increasingly digital world. The emergence of cyberspace and society's growing dependence on information technology has not fundamentally changed motivation or intent of the terrorist. Instead, it has created new form of vulnerability for terrorists to exploit while providing a global platform to communicate their messages. And this cyber stand apart from cyber crimes, cyber espionage, hacktivism, and cyber sabotage due to its distinctness of objectives and methods. So, within this presentation, I'm going to discuss this distinct features of cyberterrorism and how it's changed from other cybersecurity threats. This is the presentation plan for the session, and I'm going to discuss a little bit about what is actually cyberterrorism and type of cyber attacks. Then I'm going to discuss a brief explanation about 4 types of cybersecurity threats: cybercrime, cyber espionage, activism, and cyber sabotage. Then we are going to differentiate them with cyberterrorism, and I have added a case studies session. Then let's dig deep and try to figure out what are the differences related to these cybersecurity threats and cyberterrorism using these case studies, and the value proposition of cyberspace to terrorists, challenges in combating cyberterrorism, and the convergence of the terrorism and cyber warfare. And finally, the conclusion and how I'm going to link this presentation to the essay. Okay, now let's start. Before we go deeper into the world of cyberterrorism, let's establish a clear definition of it. The concept of cyberterrorism, and it has evolved over the time. In 1980s, Barry Z. Collins, a senior research fellow at Institute of Security and Intelligence in California, is credited with coining the term cyberterrorism. However, despite its increasing prevalence in popular culture, the precise and concise definition remain elusive. And for this presentation, I added Shorten, Fultonic, and Gill say cyber terrorism definition. So according to them, cyber terrorism is a deliberate attack or threat of such an asset by non-state actors intended to use cyberspace to cause physical, psychosocial, political, economic, ecological, or other harm. The key objectives of the cyber threats are to instill fear and influence either government or non-government organization to act in a manner that furthers the criminal's social, financial, and ideological objectives. So, This definition forms a foundation for our understanding of cyberterrorism throughout this presentation. So now let's proceed and explore the topic in greater details. In the world of cyberterrorism, attackers or terrorists employ wide array of techniques, the type of cyberterrorism attacks. These methods include distributed denial of service attack. In there, cyber terrorists can launch distributed denial of service attack to overwhelm the target's online resources and causing service disruptions. Then a malicious program. So malicious program like viruses, worm, or ransomware, Trojans can be deployed to infiltrate and compromise computer systems, often with the intention of causing damage or extracting ransom payments. Then social engineering attacks mainly manipulate the individuals or organizations to delivering sensitive information or taking actions that benefit the terrorist. This can include tactics like impersonations or psychological manipulations. And finally, the phishing campaign. Cyber terrorists frequently employ phishing emails or website to trick recipient into revealing confidential data or downloading malware. So here I added several examples, but there are thousands of methods terrorists can use to carry out a terrorism act via cyberspace. But the most popular ones are malicious program, phishing campaign, social engineering strategies, denial of service attack, and as you can see here, I added an example. Now let's examine this real world example and let's see how they use the techniques and they achieve their objectives. On May 2021, the Colonial Pipeline, a critical piece of infrastructure that controlled nearly half of the oil supply on the US East Coast, fell victim to a ransomware cyber attack. This attack disrupted the distribution of oil and from the company shut down the pipeline, a step they had never taken before. Despite the colonial company paying nearly $5 million in cryptocurrency as a ransom, the pipeline system did not return normal operation as swiftly as expected. This incident caused widespread panic and fuel shortage, affecting consumers, businesses, and the economy of the United States. This example underscores the real-world impact of cyberterrorism can have, showcasing how the combination of these techniques can lead to significant disruption and economic consequences. And here I have added several type of cybersecurity threats, and I'm going to compare these available threats with cyberterrorism, and let's figure out what are the distinct features of them. So first, let's learn what is actually these type of cybersecurity threats. The first one is cybercrime. Cybercrime refer to a criminal activity that are carried out using computers, network, and internet. It's involved using technology to commit various illegal acts or target individuals, organizations, or computer systems. Then cyber espionage is a form of covert intelligence gathering, and it's involved malicious activities designed to collect information from adversaries' computer systems. Importantly, cyber espionage aims to obtain information without causing damage to the target systems. It's often used by government and intelligence agencies to gather sensitive information for national security purposes. Hacktivism. Hacktivism is a unique intersection of technology and activism. It occurs when political or social activists use computer technology to advance their cause or make statements. Activists employ hacking techniques to raise awareness, protest, or promote their ideological beliefs. The actions can range from defacing website to exposing confidential information. And cyber sabotage is supposed a significant threat both nations and businesses. This type of attack occurs if the countries or criminal entities target computer system with the intention of disrupting online services or holding organizations' operations. The objective is cause harm by disrupting critical infrastructure, finance services, or other essential functions. These four categories represent the diverse landscape of the cybersecurity threats. Each requires a tailored approach for detection, prevention, and mitigation. As we delve in deeper in our presentation, let's explore the real-world examples and strategies for these, and let's identify the distinct features of cyberterrorism and these cybersecurity threats. It's very important to distinguish between cyberterrorism and other cybersecurity threats. And here I have used the motivation, impact factor, and intention to differentiate cyberterrorism with other cybersecurity threats. In cyberterrorism, the main motivation driven by political, ideological, or religious. And the actions are rooted in desire to advance a particular course of belief system. And impact and scale in cyber terrorism aim to create fear and psychological impact on large scale. It can result in significant disruptions to societies, economies, and infrastructures. And the intent of the cyberterrorism is to incite terror and fear among population. They often target critical infrastructure such as power grids, transportation systems, and communication network, intended to cause chaos and panic. In cybercrime, main motivations are financial gain. Mainly, it's financial gain is a major driver behind the cybercrime. Cyber criminals seek to steal sensitive information, personal data, and financial assets. The impact of the cybercrime can vary, ranging from individual victims to large-scale data breaches affecting millions of people. The focus is on personal and financial harm rather than the social disruption. And the intent of the criminals is monetary. The aim is profit from the identity theft, ransomware attacks, credit card fraud, and selling stolen data on the dark web. In cyber espionage, the motivation involved the clandestine acquisition of sensitive information, trade secrets, military intelligence, or political strategies. It's often driven by national security interests, economic advantage, or military renders. The impact can be substantial as stolen information can lead to a significant economic, political, or military advantages. However, the focus is on gathering intelligence rather than causing immediate disruption. The intent in cyber espionage intend to gather information covertly without necessarily cause immediate harm or drawing attention. State actors, intelligence agencies, and cooperate entities often engage in cyber espionage and cyber sabotage. Motivation involves intentional action to disrupt, damage, or destroy critical systems, infrastructure, or data. And motivation can include political, economic, ideological, and military objectives. In impact and scale wise, cyber sabotage can be severe, especially when the critical infrastructure like power grids, water supplies, or transportation systems are targeted. It's aimed to cause direct harm and destruction to the target entity. The intent of the cyber sabotage intends to create chaos, disruption, operations, cause physical and financial harms. Unlike cyber terrorism, which focuses to incite fear, cyber sabotage to impair system functions directly. One of the main difference between cyber sabotage and cyber terrorism. And the final one I have chosen for this presentation is hacktivism, related to threats, other threats. In hacktivism, the main motivation is driven by social or political causes. They use hacking to promote a specific ideology, raise awareness, or protest against perceived injustice. In impact and scale wise, hacktivists can cause disruption, and their impact is often more local than cyber terrorism. They may deface website, leak sensitive information, or disrupt the online services, draw attention to their cause. Activists intend to advance their cause, raise awareness, or express business. Their actions may not always lead to widespread terror or fear, but they can create significant inconvenience and public attention. So these are the reasons that we can easily differentiate cyberterrorism from other cybersecurity threats, mean cyber crimes, cyber espionage, cyber sabotage, and activism. Now, I will use several examples to explain the further emphasize the unique nature of cyber terrorism and related to other cybersecurity threats. First use case I have chosen for the presentation, it's the stuck nets. So have you heard these stuck nets before this presentation? Very popular case. Cyber terrorism related one. Stuck nets are designed to sabotage Iran's nuclear program by causing malfunction in its uranium enrichment centrifuges. So, and this target is a worm, computer worm, and they used to target Iranian nuclear facilities in 2010. And this attack demonstrated the potential for cyber attacks to cause physical damage to critical infrastructure. And so this characteristic is some say this is a state influences origin and geopolitical motivation and direct interference with industrial processes. Then the next case is cybercrime related one, WannaCry. In 2017, WannaCry ransomware attack affected over 300,000 computers in more than 150 countries, and attackers use this ransomware to encrypt victims' data and demand ransom payment for decryptions. And due to this, various sectors hold their transactions, or they find a lot of financial losses and data breaches happen. And unlike the cyber terrorism, the primary aim of the WannaCry was financial gain with minimal geopolitical or ideological motivation. The hacktivism case, here I have chosen the anonymous versus Sony one, the popular hacktivism case. This incident happened in 2011. The hacktivist group Anonymous targeted Sony in response to legal action against PlayStation models. And they have defaced their websites and a couple of data breaching and incidents happened at that time uh, due to this case. And the primary motivation is to social and political activism, and they have disrupt they have defaced the websites and embraced Sony and expose some sensitive data. And we compare with cyber terrorism, the motivation is were primarily political and aimed holding corporation accountable, freeing from fearing objectives and cyber terrorism. And cyber sabotage case is the Ukraine power outage in 2016. And here, attackers disable critical infrastructure and cause physical disruption because they have attacked Ukrainian power companies at that time. And the impact left thousands without electricity in harsh winter conditions. And if we compare terrorism with this cyber sabotage case, here the main focus was on causing a real world harm. But motivation will be different from terrorism. And the final one is for cyber espionage, and here the case is APT29 Kosibea incident. This state sponsors group has targeted government and private sector organizations for years. They have targeted a lot of countries to gather information, steal sensitive information, intellectual property information, and to gain strategic advantages. And still, this is an ongoing threat to compromise national securities. Unlike cyber terrorism, cyber espionage focuses on intelligence collection rather than physical harm or inducing fear. And value proposition for cyberspace terrorists, there are several reasons. The first one is cyber is less expensive than the traditional terrorism methods. Terrorists only need to have a computer and internet connection, and they can carry out the attack. And also, unlike the traditional terrorism method, cyber is more anonymous. The anonymity property provided by the internet allows terrorists to communicate, coordinate, and plan without revealing their identities. They can use pseudonyms and encrypted communication channel to evade detection by authorities. Also, they can use social media channel and this dark web forum to recruit new members, spread propagandas, radicalizations, and so it's a powerful tool. Internet is a very powerful tool for them. And also, cyber terrorism can be carried out remotely, which appear terrorism because physical trainings, psychological investment, risk of mortality, and less travel than traditional type of terrorism. Also, they can use these digital currencies, especially cryptocurrencies and internet-based payment systems like funds online. This approach allows them to such convention finance and create challenges to government to monitor their financial transaction. These are the reasons now terrorist group move to the cyber terrorism acts. And the challenges. These are the challenges when we are combating cyber. One person is the anonymity. It's very hard to detect, and sophistication of cyber attack. Sophisticated interconnection of critical infrastructure, a lack of international cooperation, and public lack of awareness. And the convergence of terrorism and cyber warfare. Cyber terrorism encompasses using internet to perpetrate criminal acts as a terrorist in purpose. Similarly, cyber war involves employing internet to execute acts of warfare. Convergence, cyber terrorism overlap between threats. Both cyber terrorism and cyber piracy achieve disruptive outcome by exploiting vulnerabilities in the digital system, while terrorism may to incite fear and chaos society. Cyber warfare involves military or geopolitical objectives, such as undermine the nation's military capabilities or economical strength. The tool and the techniques used in cyber attacks and cyber warfare can be similar in both cyber terrorism and cyber warfare. Malware, ransomware, distributed denial service, and other attacks can be used to amplify the potential impact. But given their distinctive characteristics, actors, motivations, and the targets, it's evident that cyber terrorism and cyber warfare cannot be regarded as mere the same category of each other. While both can pose severe threats to national security and public safety, they require different responses and countermeasures from authority and society. And the conclusion, the link to essay. So the essay is titled as Contextualizing and Explore the Distinctiveness of Cyber Terrorism Concerning Other Cybersecurity Threats. How far, example, can be separate cyber terrorism from cybercrime or cyber, or should we attempt to do so? The emergence of, as I mentioned earlier in my hypothesis, the emergence of cyberspace and society growing dependence on information distortion and the motivation or intent of terrorists. Instead, so they have a platform to communicate their messages. The distinctiveness of cyber terrorism to other cybersecurity threats have eliminated interest practice that digital realm. Cyber terrorism intend to incite fear, distort criticism, propaganda, and stand up for cybercrime, espionage, and cyber sabotage. The consideration of cyber terrorism and other threats underscore the urgency of understanding the difference between these combat effectively. In the context of major essay, exploring the parallel and distinctiveness between cyber terrorism and other cyber threats could be a valuable approach. And this is the bibliography. So I have cited scholar article, a journal article, and couple of blog articles. When I prepare this presentation, here you can see it. And so I have used Cybercrime and Cyber Terrorism Investigation Handbook. Then an article, Terror Web, How the Internet is Transforming Terrorism, Terrorist Use of Cryptocurrency Techniques, and Organizational Barrier and the Threats. So here is the bibliography or the references. So that way, I think now you can have an idea what are the distinctive features of cyber terrorism versus cyber crime, cyber sabotage, hacktivism, and cyber warfare, cyber espionage. Okay, thank you.